didn't think it polite to listen, sir.
Well, I'm sorry for your sake. I don't play accurately. Anyone can play accurately. But I play with wonderful expression. When it comes to the piano, sentiment is my forte. I leave science for life.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of the science of life, have you got the cucumber sandwiches cut for Lady Bracknell?
Yes, sir.
Where are they?
There, here, sir.
Very good. By the way, Lane, I see from your book that on Thursday night, when Lord Shorman and Mr. Worthing were dining with me, 8 bottles of champagne are entered as having been consumed.
That is correct, sir. 8 bottles of champagne and a pint.
Why is it that at a bachelor's establishment the servants invariably drink the champagne? I merely ask for information only.
It has come to my attention, sir, that the wine of the married household is seldom of first-rate quality.
Good heavens! Is marriage so demoralizing as that?
Oh, I believe it to be quite the contrary, sir. Not that I have much experience of it myself, only being married once. And that was in consequence of a misunderstanding between myself.
I don't know that I'm much interested in your family life, then.
It's not a very interesting subject, sir. I rarely think of it myself.
And very natural, I'm sure. That is all, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Lane, you can leave the cucumber sandwiches.
Certainly, sir. Thank you again, sir.
Lane's views on marriage are somewhat lax. Really. If the lower orders can't set us a good example, what on earth is the use of them? As a class, they seem to have absolutely no sense of their moral responsibilities.
Mr. Earnest Worthing.
My dear Earnest, how are you? What brings you to town?
Oh, just pleasure, pleasure. Eating as usual, I see, Algie.
Well, I believe it is customary to have some slight refreshment at 5 o'clock. Where have you been since last Thursday?
Oh, in the country.
What on earth do you do there?
Well, when one's in town, one amuses oneself. When one's in the country, one amuses other people.
And who are these people you amuse?
Oh, just neighbours.
What nice neighbours in your part of Shropshire?
Perfectly horrid. I never speak to any of them.
How immensely you must amuse them. By the way, Shropshire is your county, is it not?
Shropshire? Yes. Of course. Hello. Why all these cups? Why, cucumber sandwiches? Who is coming to tea?
Merely Aunt Augusta and Gwendolen.
Oh, how perfectly delightful.
That is all very well, my dear fellow, but I'm not quite sure that Aunt Augusta will quite approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
My dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolen is perfectly disgraceful. It is almost as bad as the way Gwendolen flirts with you.
But I am in love with Gwendolen, and I've come up to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you said you come up here for pleasure. I call that business. Don't touch the cucumber sandwiches. They're ordered especially for Aunt Augusta.
You've been eating them all the time.
That is quite a different matter. She is my aunt. Have the bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolen. Gwendolen is devoted to bread and butter.
And very good bread and butter it is too.
Yeah. My dear fellow, you need not eat as if you were going to eat it all. You behave as if you're married to her already. You are not married to her already, and I don't think you ever will be.
Or not, do you mean?
Well, in the first place, I don't give my consent.
Your consent?
My
What
dear-
a nonsense you
My
talk.
dear fellow, Gwendolen is my first cousin, and I won't allow you to marry her until you clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What on earth do you mean? What do you mean, Angie, by Cecily? I don't know anyone of the name of Cecily, as far as I remember.
Lane, bring me the cigarette case that Mr. Worthing left in the hall the last time he dined here.
Certainly, sir.
You mean to say that you've had my cigarette case all this time? Well, I wish to goodness you had said something. I've been writing frightening letters to Scotland Yard, and I almost offered a large reward.
Well, I wish you would offer one. I happen to be more than usually hard up.
No point offering a reward now that the thing is found.
Well, I must say, I think that is rather mean of you, Ernest. But it makes no matter. For now that I look at the inscription inside, I see the thing isn't yours after all.
Of course it's mine. You've seen me with it hundreds of times. You with no right to read what was written inside. It is most ungentlemanly to read a private cigarette case.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone of the name of Cecily, and you said you didn't know anyone of that name.
I said I didn't remember anyone of that name, and well, I do remember now. She's my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes. Charming old lady, lives in Tunbridge Wells. Now just give it back to me, Algie.
But why does she call herself Little Cecily, if she is your aunt and lives in Tunbridge Wells? From Little Cecily, with fondest love.
My dear fellow, what on earth is there in that? Some aunts are tall, and some aunts are not tall. That surely is a decision that an aunt may be allowed to decide for herself. You seem to think, however, that every aunt should be exactly like your aunt, and that is absurd. Now, for heaven's sake, just give me back my
But
cigarette.
why does your aunt call you her uncle? From Little Cecily, with fondest love, to dear Uncle Jack. Now, I admit there is no objection in an aunt being a small aunt. But why an aunt, no matter what her size should be, should want to call her own nephew her uncle, I can't quite make out. And besides, your name isn't Jack at all, it's Ernest.
It isn't Ernest. It's Jack.
What? You've always told me your name was Ernest. I've introduced you to everyone as Ernest. You look like your name is Earnest. You're the most earnest-looking person I've ever met in my entire life. It's perfectly absurd you're saying your name isn't Ernest. Why, it's on your cards. Here's one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthing, B4 the Albany. Now, I'll keep this as proof that your name is Ernest, in case you ever attempt to deny it to me, or to Gwendolyn, or to anyone else for that matter.
Well, my name is Earnest. In town, and it's Jack in the country. And the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes. But that still does not explain why your small aunt Cecily, who lives in Tunbridge Wells, calls you her uncle. Now come on, old boy, it is better to have the whole thing out at once.
My dear boy, you talk exactly as if you were a dentist. It's most vulgar to speak like a dentist. One isn't a dentist. It produces a false impression.
Well, that is exactly what dentists always do. Now go on, tell me the whole thing. And I may mention that I have always suspected you of being a secret and confirmed Bunburyist. And now I am quite certain of the fact.
Bunburyist? What on earth do you mean by a Bunburyist?
I will explain to you the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you were kind enough to tell me why you were Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
There it is.
Thank you.
Now produce your explanation, and pray, make it remarkable.
My dear Algie, there's nothing remarkable about my explanation at all. In fact, it is quite ordinary. Old Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a little boy, under rather peculiar circumstances, left me all the money I possessed, made me in his will guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cicely Cardew. Cicely, who addresses me as her uncle from, well, motives that you cannot appreciate, resides in my place in the country under the charge of her admirable governess, Miss Prism.
Where is that place in the country, by the way?
That is nothing to you, dear boy. You are not going to be invited. But I will tell you quite candidly that the place is not in Shropshire.
Oh, I suspected that, old boy. I have Bunburyed all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions. Now go on, tell me, why are you Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear Algie, I don't think you will be able to understand my real motives.
Oh.
I don't think you're hardly serious enough. When one is placed in the position of a guardian, one has to adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. In fact, it is one's duty to do so. And as a high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce very much to either one's health or happiness, In order for me to get to town, well, I've always pretended to have a younger brother of the name of Earnest, who lives in the Albany and gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That, my dear Angie, is the truth, pure and simple.
The truth is rarely pure and never simple. What you are really is a Bunburyist. I was quite right in suspecting you were a Bunburyist. You're the most advanced Bunburyist that I know.
What on earth do you mean?
You've invented a very useful younger brother by the name of Earnest, in order that you might be able to go into town whenever you choose. I, on the other hand, have invented a very useful permanent invalid by the name of Bunbury, in order that I might be able to go into the country whenever I choose.
What nonsense.
It isn't nonsense. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. If it wasn't for Bunbury's curiously bad health, for instance, I wouldn't be able to dine with you tonight in Willis's, for I've already been engaged to Aunt Augusta for more than a week.
Well, I haven't asked you to dine with me anywhere tonight.
I know you're absurdly careless about sending out invitations. You know it's very foolish of you. Nothing annoys people more than not receiving invitations.
You had better dine with your Aunt Augusta.
I haven't the smallest intention of doing anything of the kind. To begin with, I dine there on Monday, and once a week is more than enough to dine with one's own relatives. In the second place, whenever I do dine there, she always treats me as one of the family and sends me down with either no woman at all or two. In the third place, I know precisely who she would place me beside tonight. She would place me beside Mary Farquhar, and she is always flirting across the table with her own husband. That is not pleasant. Indeed, it is not even decent. And that sort of thing is enormously on the increase. The amount of women in London who flirt with their own husbands is perfectly scandalous. It looks so bad. It's merely washing one's clean linen in public. Besides, now that I know that you're a confirmed Bunburyist, I want to talk to you about Bunbury. I want to tell you the rules, old boy.
I am not a Bunburyist at all. If Gwendolyn accepts me, well then, I'm naturally going to kill my brother. Indeed, I think I will kill him in any case. Cecily's been, well, a bit far too much interested in him. She's always asking me to forgive him and that sort of thing. So, I'm going to get rid of my brother Earnest, and I strongly advise that you do the same with your friend Bunbury.
Nothing will induce me to part with Bunbury. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. And if you ever get married, which seems to me to be extremely problematic, you shall be very glad to know Bunbury. A man that marries without knowing Bunbury has a very tedious time indeed.
You always understand what you say, Algie.
Yes, if I listen attentively. That must be Aunt Augusta. Only relatives or creditors ever ring in that Wagnerian manner. Now, if I get Aunt Augusta out of the room for 10 minutes, in order that you might be able to propose to Gwendolyn, will you dine with me tonight in Willis's?
Oh, I suppose so. Look, if you want to.
Well, you must be serious about it. I hate people who aren't serious about meals. It's so shallow of them.
Lady Bracknell and Miss Fairfax.
Good afternoon, dear afternoon. I do hope you are behaving very well.
I'm feeling very well, Aunt Augusta.
That's not quite the same thing. In fact, the two things rarely go together.
Yes.
Mr. Worthing?
Lady Bracknell.
Dear me, Gwendolyn, you do look smart.
I'm always smart.
Yes.
Am I not, Mr. Worthing?
You are quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
Well, I hope I'm not that. I leave very little room for developments, and I intend to develop in many directions.
I am sorry that we are late, Algernon, but I was obliged to call on dear Lady Horbury. I haven't been to see her since her poor husband's death. I have never seen a woman so altered. She looks quite 20 years younger. Now I'll have that cup of tea and one of those nice cucumber sandwiches you promised me.
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
Gwendolyn, won't you come and sit here?
Thank you, Mamma, but I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens, Lane! Why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them especially.
There were no cucumbers at the market this morning, sir.
No cucumbers?
No, sir. Not even for ready money.
That is all, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Aunt Augusta, I am deeply distressed about there being no cucumbers, not even for ready money.
It really makes no matter, Algernon. I had some crumpets at dear Lady Horbury, who seems to me to be living entirely for pleasure now.
Yes, I hear her hair has turned quite gold from grief.
It certainly has changed its colour. From what cause, of course, I cannot say. Thank you. I have a treat in store for you tonight, Algernon. I am going to send you down with Mary Farquhar. She is such a nice woman, and so attentive to her husband. Oh, it's delightful to watch them.
I'm afraid that I shall have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight, Aunt Augusta.
I should hope not. It would put my table completely out. Your uncle would have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he is accustomed to that.
Well, it is a great bore, and I need hardly say it's a terrible disappointment to me, but you see, the fact is I've just received a telegram to say that my poor friend Bunbury is dreadfully ill. They seem to think that I should be with him.
Well, it is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury is a dreadful invalid.
Well, I think it is high time, Algernon, that this Mr. Bunbury made up his mind whether he was going to live or to die. This shilly-shallying with the question is absurd. Illness is not something to be encouraged in others. Health is the primary duty of life. I would be much obliged if you would ask Mr. Bunbury from me if he'd be kind enough not to have a relapse on Saturday. I rely on you to arrange my music for me. It is the last reception and it's the end of the season, and one wants something that encourages conversation, particularly at the end of the season when everybody has said practically all they've had to say.
Well, I'll certainly talk to Bunbury if he's still conscious, and I think I can promise you that he will be better by Saturday. Yes, as you rightly point out, the music is a great difficulty. You see, if one plays good music, people don't listen, and if one plays bad music, people don't talk. But I'll run through the programme I've drawn out if you'd like to join me in the next room for a moment.
Well, thank you, Algernon. It is very thoughtful of you. I'm sure your programme will be delightful.
Yes.
After a few expurgations. French songs I cannot possibly allow. People seem to think they're improper, and I either look shocked, which is vulgar,
Oh, no.
or laugh, which is worse. German is a thoroughly respectable language, and indeed I believe is so.
Absolutely.
Gwendolen, you will accompany me.
Oh, certainly, Mamma.
Charming day it has been, Miss Fairfax.
Pray don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever anybody talks to me about the weather, I feel quite certain that they mean something else entirely, and that makes me rather nervous.
Well, I do mean something else.
Well, I thought so. In fact, I'm never wrong.
And I would like to be allowed to, well, take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary absence.
Well, I would certainly advise you to do so. Mamma has a way of coming back suddenly into a room that I've often had to speak to her about.
Miss Fairfax, ever since I have met you, I've admired you more than any other girl I have ever met since I've met you.
Well, I'm quite well aware of the fact, and I'd often wished that in public, at any rate, you'd been slightly more demonstrative. For me, you had an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals. It was written about in all the expensive monthly magazines and has reached the provincial pulpits, I'm told. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name Earnest. There is something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. From the moment Algy first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Earnest, I knew I was destined to love you.
Oh, Gwendolen, you mean you really love me?
Oh, passionately.
Oh, darling Gwendolen, you don't know how happy you have made me. Of course, you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Earnest?
But your name is Earnest.
Well, yes, I know it is, but suppose it was something else.
Well, that is clearly a metaphysical speculation, and like most metaphysical speculations, bears very little resemblance to the actual facts of real life as we know them.
Personally, darling, to speak quite frankly, you see, I don't care much for the name of Earnest. I don't think the name suits me at all.
It suits you perfectly. It is a divine name. It has a music of its own. It produces vibrations.
Really, Gwendolen, I think there are far much, nicer names. I think Jack, for instance, a most charming name.
Jack? Oh no, there is very little music, if any at all indeed, in the name of Jack. Besides, Jack does not inspire. It does not produce vibrations. Jack is a notorious domesticity for the name John, and I pity any woman who is married to a man called John. She's probably never allowed to know the entrancing pleasure of a single moment's solitude. No, the only real safe name is Earnest.
I must get christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once. There is no time to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
But surely, you know that I love you, and, well, you led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, that you are not absolutely indifferent to me.
Well, I adore you, but you haven't proposed yet. The subject has not even been touched upon.
Well, may I propose to you now?
Oh, an admirable idea! And to save you any possible disappointment, I feel it only fair to tell you that I'm more than willing to accept.
Gwendolen?
Yes? What have you to say to me?
Well, you know what I've got to say to you.
Yes, but you don't say it.
Gwendolen? Will you marry me?
Of course I will, darling. How long have you been about it?
Oh, dear Gwendolen, I have never loved anyone in the world but you.
Yes, but you haven't had much experience in how to propose. I know a lot of other men do for practice. My brother Gerald certainly does. All my girlfriends tell me so. Oh, what wonderfully blue eyes you have. They are quite blue. I hope you will always look at me like that, especially when other people are present.
Mr. Worthing, rise from this semi-recumbent state. It looks most indecorous.
Mamma, I must beg you to retire. This is no place for you. Besides, Mr. Worthing hasn't finished yet.
Finished what, may I ask?
I am engaged to Mr. Worthing, Ma.
Your pardon, but you're engaged to no one. When you do become engaged, I or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact. Engagement should come on a young girl as a surprise. Pleasant or unpleasant as the case may be, it is hardly a matter she could arrange for herself. And now, Mr. Worthing, I have a few questions to put to you. You, Gwendolen, can wait for me below in the carriage.
Mamma!
In the carriage, Gwendolen. Gwendolen, the carriage!
Yes, Mamma.
You may take the seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell, but I prefer standing.
I am bound to tell you that you are not on my list of eligible young men. Although on the same list as the dear Duchess of Brompton. However, I am quite ready to enter your name, should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I must admit I do smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man should have an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle men in London as it is. How old are you?
36.
Perfectly good age to be married at. Mr. Worthing, I'm of the impression that a man who desires to be married should either know everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
That is satisfactory. I'm not in favour of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. The whole theory of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. If it did, it would probably be a serious concern to the upper classes and lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. What is your income?
Oh, between 7,000 and 8,000 a year?
In land or in investments?
In investments, chiefly, Lady Bracknell.
That is satisfactory. What between the duties expected of one during one's lifetime and the duties exacted from one after one's death, land ceases to be a profit or a pleasure. It gives one position but prevents one from keeping it up. That's all that has to be said about land.
Well, I have a house in the country, with some land, of course, attached. About 1,500 acres, I believe. But I don't depend on that for my real income. In fact, the poachers are the only ones that make anything out of it.
A country house? How many bedrooms? Well, that matter can be cleared up later. You have a townhouse, I hope. You could hardly expect a girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolen to reside in the country.
Well, I have own a house in Belgrave Square, but it is let by the year to Lady Bloxham. Of course, I can get that back whenever I wish.
Lady Bloxham? I don't know her.
Oh, she was about very little. She's a lady considerably advanced in years.
Oh, nowadays there is no guarantee of respectability of character. What number in Belgrave Square?
149.
Oh, the unfashionable side. Never mind, that could easily be altered.
You mean the fashion or the side, Lady Bragdon?
Both, I presume, if necessary. What are your politics?
Well, I'm afraid I really have none. I'm a Liberal Unionist.
Oh, they count as Tories. They dine with us. I'll come in the evening at any rate. Now, to less minor matters, are your parents living?
I'm afraid I have lost both of my parents.
To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both parents looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He was obviously a man of some wealth. Was he born in what the radical papers call the couple of commerce, or did he rise from the ranks of the aristocracy?
Well, I'm afraid I really don't know. The fact is, Lady Bracknell, when I say I have lost both my parents, the truth is, my parents seem to have lost me. I don't actually know who I am by birth. You see, I was found.
Found?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, and Mr. Thomas Carter, an elderly gentleman of a kind and delicate disposition, found me and gave me the name of Worthing, well, because he happened to have a first-class railway ticket for Worthing in his pocket at the time. Worthing is a place in Sussex. It is a seaside resort.
And where did this charitable gentleman with a first-class ticket for a seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
A handbag.
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I was found in a handbag. A somewhat large, brown leather handbag, with handles to it. An ordinary handbag, in fact.
And where did this Mr. Cardew come across this ordinary handbag?
The cloakroom at Victoria Station. You see, it was given to him in mistake for his own. He did not discover his error until he reached his own house. All subsequent efforts to ascertain who I was were unavailing.
Cloakroom at Victoria Station?
Yes, the Brighton line.
Oh, the line is immaterial. Mr. Worthing, I must confess, I am somewhat bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, or at any rate bred in a handbag, whether it has handles or not, seems to me to display a distinct contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life, which reminds one of the worst excesses of the French Revolution. And I presume you know what that awful movement led to. As regards the locality of where you were discovered, a real cloakroom at a railway station seems to me to conceal a social indiscretion, but could hardly be an assured basis for a recognised position in good society.
Well, then may I ask you what you would advise me to do? I need hardly say that I would do anything in the world to ensure Gwendolyn's happiness.
Well, I'd advise you to acquire some relations as soon as possible, and to make an indefinite effort to produce at any rate one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
Well, I don't know how I can possibly manage to do that. I can produce the handbag at a moment's notice. It is in my bedroom at home. And I really think that, well, that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What has it to do with me? You would hardly expect that I, Lord Bracknell, would allow our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to marry into a handbag and form an alliance with a cloakroom? Mr. Worthing, there is to be no more communication between yourself and my daughter, and that is final. Good day.
Stop playing that ghastly tune, Algie! Idiot you are!
Didn't it go off all right, old boy? You don't mean to say that Gwendolyn refused you?
Oh, Gwendolyn is right as a trivet. As far as she is concerned, well, we are engaged. But her mother, on the other hand, is quite unbearable. I have never met such a woman. I've never met such a gorgon. I don't even know what a gorgon is. That woman, I swear... Beg your pardon, Algie, but I have no right to speak of your aunt in that way before you.
That's quite all right, old boy. I love hearing my relations abused. It's the only thing that makes me put up with them at all. Relations are a tedious pack of tedious people who haven't the remotest knowledge of how to live, nor the slightest instinct about when to die.
You don't think that Gwendolyn will turn out like her mother in about 150 years, do you imagine?
All women end up like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That is his.
Is that clever?
Well, it's perfectly phrased and quite as true as any observation in modern life should be. By the way, did you tell Gwendolyn about your being Earnest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear fellow, the truth isn't the sort of thing you tell a nice, sweet, refined young girl. What extraordinary ideas you have on how to behave to a woman.
The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her if she's pretty. Somebody else if she's plain.
Nonsense.
What about your brother? What about the profligate Earnest?
By the end of the week, I shall have got rid of him.
Oh.
Think I will kill him in Paris.
Paris? Why Paris?
Oh, less trouble. No nonsense, but a funeral and that sort of thing.
I see.
So I think I will kill him in Paris. Apoplexy will do perfect. Lots of people die of apoplexy quite suddenly, don't they?
Yes, but it's hereditary, old boy. It's the sort of thing that runs in families.
Oh, good heavens. Then I won't choose that then. What can I say?
Well, I don't say he died of influenza.
Oh, that wouldn't sound probable at all. Far too many people have had it.
Well, I don't know. Say he died of a severe chill then.
You sure severe chill isn't hereditary?
Of course it isn't.
Very well then. My poor brother Ernest shall be carried off suddenly in Paris by a severe chill. That gets rid of him.
Yes, but what about your Miss Cardew? Didn't you say that she was a good deal too fond of your poor brother Earnest? Won't she feel his loss a great deal?
Oh, that is all right. Cecily's not a silly romantic girl at all. She's got a capital appetite and goes for long walks.
I should very much like to meet this Cecily.
I will take very good care that you never do. She happens to be excessively pretty and she's only just turned 18.
Does Gwendolyn know that you've got an excessively pretty ward who is just 18?
Oh, one doesn't blurt these things out to people. Life is a matter of tact. You lead into the thing gradually. Gwendolyn and Cecily are perfectly certain to be extremely good friends. Half an hour after they met, we'll probably be calling each other sister.
Yes, but women only do that after they've called each other a lot of other things. Now, dear boy, if we're to get a good table in Willis's, we'd better go and get dressed. You know it's nearly 7.
Oh, it's always nearly 7.
Well, I'm hungry.
I never knew you when you weren't. However, I must go around to the Albany and I will meet you in Willis's at 8. Actually, you can call for me on the way if you like.
Very well, old boy.
Miss Fairfax.
Good heavens, Gwendolyn, on my word.
Algy, kindly turn round. I have something very particular to say to Mr. Worthing.
I'm not quite sure I can allow it. Very well.
Ernest! Oh, Ernest!
My own darling.
Oh, I fear we shall never be married. From the expression of Mamma's face, I fear we never shall. Few parents nowadays pay any regard to what their children desire. The old-fashioned respect for the youth is fast dying out. Whatever hold I had over Mamma, I lost at the age of 3. However, though she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, and though I may marry someone else and marry often, nothing she can do can alter my eternal devotion to you.
Oh, dearest Gwendolyn.
The story of your romantic origin, as related to me by Mamma with unpleasing comments, has naturally stirred the deeper fibres of my nature. Your Christian name has an irresistible fascination. The simplicity of your character makes you exquisitely incomprehensible to me. Your town address at the Albany I have. What is your country address?
The Manor House, Woolton, in Hertfordshire.
And there is good postal service, I suppose. There might be need to do something drastic, though that will require some serious consideration. I will communicate daily.
My own one.
Oh, Algy, you may turn round.
I already have.
Oh,
You will let me see you to your carriage, my own darling.
certainly.
Lane, bring me a sherry.
Certainly, son.
Tomorrow, Lane, I'm going Bunbury. You can set out all the dress clothes, the Bunbury suits, the smoking jacket, etc.
Yes, sir.
I hope tomorrow will be a fine day, Lane.
So the mills, sir.
Lane, you're the perfect pessimist.
I do endeavour to give satisfaction, sir.
That is all, Lane. Thank you.
And thank you, sir.
The Manor House, Wilton, Herefordshire, LDO boy.
What a splendid creature. She's the only girl I've ever loved in my life. Right then, let us go off and die. What on earth are you laughing at?
I'm just merely concerned about my poor friend Bunbury, that's all.
If you don't be careful, your friend Bunbury is going to get you into a serious scrape someday.
I love scrapes. They're the only things that are never serious. Tomorrow, my dear boy, I'm definitely going Bunburying.
Cecily, such a utilitarian task as walking the plant is more mortal task than yours, especially when such intellectual pleasures await you. When I open page 15, we will resume yesterday's.
But I don't like German. It isn't at all a becoming language. And I know perfectly well that I look quite plain after my German lesson.
Oh, child, you know how anxious your guardian is that you should improve yourself in every way. He laid particular stress on your German, as he was leaving for town yesterday. Oh, indeed, he always lays particular stress on your German when he's leaving for town.
Uncle Jack is so very serious. Sometimes I think he is so serious he cannot be quite well.
Oh, child, your guardian enjoys excellent health. It is granted to be ours to be commended, especially one so compared to the youngest he is.
Perhaps that is why he often looks a little bored when we three are together.
Your guardian has many worries. Idle merriment and triviality would not replace his conversation. Have you forgotten his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man of his brother?
Oh, I do wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometimes. We would be a good influence over him, Miss Prism. I'm sure you certainly would. You know German and geology and things of that kind influence a man very much.
I don't think that even I could produce an effect on one who, according to his own brother, is so retrievably weak and vacillating. Indeed, I am not sure that I would desire to retrieve him. I'm not in favour of this modern mania of turning bad men into good. As a man so, then let him be. Oh, child, put away that diary. I do not know why I need to keep a diary for it all.
Oh, I keep a diary in order to enter the wonderful secrets of my life. If I didn't write them down, I'm sure I would forget all about them.
Oh, memory, my dear child, is the diary we all carry about with us.
Yes, but it usually only chronicles the things that have never happened, or couldn't possibly have happened. I believe memory is responsible for all the 3-volume novels we have these days.
Oh, do not speak slightly of the 3-volume novel. I actually wrote it myself in younger days.
Did you really, Miss Prism? How wonderfully clever you are. Oh, I hope it did not end happily. I don't like novels that end happily. They depress me so much.
The good ended happily, and the bad unhappily. That's what fiction is, child.
I suppose so, but it seems very unfair. And was your novel ever published?
Well, unfortunately, the novel was abandoned. Well, I say that in the sense of lost or misled. Tell you what, child, so speculations are profitless.
Oh, but I see dear Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
Dr. Chasuble, what a pleasant surprise.
And how are we this morning? Miss Prism, you are, I trust, well.
Oh, Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. I believe it would do her much good to have a short stroll with you in the park, Dr. Chasuble.
Cecily, I did not mention anything about a headache.
Oh, I know that, Miss Prism, but I felt instinctively that you had a headache. And indeed, I was thinking about that and not about my German when the rector came in.
Oh, I hope, Cecily, you're not inattentive.
Oh, I'm afraid I am.
It's very strange. Were I fortunate not to be Miss Prism's pupil? I will hang upon her lips. I spoke metaphorically, of course. My metaphor was drawn from bees. Now I will disturb Eugenie and her pupil no longer.
Cheerio, Clement. My name is Lutetia.
Oh, a classical allusion merely, drawn from the pagan authors. And I shall see you both, no doubt, at evensong.
Do you know, dear Canon, I do find that I have a headache after all, you know. A walk might do me good.
Oh, with pleasure, Miss Prism, with pleasure. We may go as far as the schools and back.
Oh, that would be absolutely delightful. Well, Cecily, you may read your political economy in my absence. The chapter on the fall of Rupe, you may admit it, is far too sensational. Even those metallic problems have a more melodramatic side.
Horrid political economy, horrid geography, and horrid German.
Mr. Earnest has just driven over from the station. He has brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, B4 the Albany W. Uncle Jack's brother. Did you tell him that Mr. Worthing is in town?
Yes, miss. He seemed very much disappointed. I mentioned to him that you and Miss Prism were in the garden. He said he wished to speak to you privately for a moment.
Oh, ask Mr. Ernest Worthing to come here. And I suppose you better talk to the housekeeper about a room for him.
Yes, miss.
I've never met a really wicked person before. I feel rather frightened. I am so afraid he'll look just like everybody else. He does.
You are my little cousin Cecily, I'm sure?
You are under some strange mistake. I am not little. I believe I am more than usually tall for my age. But I am your cousin Cecily, and you, I saw from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother. My cousin Ernest, my wicked cousin Ernest.
Oh, you mustn't think that I'm wicked. I am not really wicked at all, cousin Cecily.
Well, if you are not, then you've certainly been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. I hope you have not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked but really being very good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Yes. Well, of course, I have been rather reckless.
Oh, I am glad to hear it.
In fact, now that you mention the subject, I have been very, very bad in my own small way.
Oh, but I don't think you should be so proud of it, although I'm sure it was very pleasant.
It is much pleasanter being here with you, cousin Cecily.
I don't understand how you're here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back until Monday afternoon.
That is a great disappointment to me, but you see, I'm obliged to go up by the first train on Monday. I have a business appointment that I'm anxious to miss.
Well, couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
No, I'm afraid that the appointment is in London.
Oh, and I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. But really, I think you should stay until Uncle Jack returns. I know he wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
About my what?
Your emigrating. He's gone up to buy your outfit.
Well, I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all.
Well, I don't think you'll be requiring neckties. He's sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
Well, he said at dinner on Wednesday evening that you'd have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Well, the reports that I've received of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
No, I'm afraid I'm not that. That is why I want you to reform me. You might make it your mission, cousin Cecily, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm afraid I've no time this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, perhaps then you wouldn't mind my reforming myself then this afternoon.
Well, it's rather quixotic of you, but I think you should try.
I will. I feel better already.
Well, you're looking a little worse.
Well, that is because I am hungry.
Oh, how thoughtless of me. I should have remembered that when one is going to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Won't you come in?
Yes, but might I have a buttonhole first? I'm afraid I never have an appetite unless I have a buttonhole first.
A Martial meal?
I'd sooner a red rose, cousin Oh, then Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady. You are the prettiest girl that I ever saw.
Miss Prism says all good looks are a snare.
A snare that every sensible man should want to be caught in.
Oh, I don't think I care to catch a sensible man. I wouldn't know what to talk to him about.
Oh, Cecily, darling, I'm quite sure that you could.
You're too much alone, dear doctor. You should get married. Unless a thought I can understand, a woman thought never.
Believe me, I don't desire some illogistical phrase. The precept as well as the practice of the primitive church was distinctly against matrimony.
No, and that is precisely the reason why the primitive church didn't last to the present day. You don't seem to realize, dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man presents himself as a permanent public temptation. Men should be more careful. This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive except to his own wife.
Oh, and often I've been told, not even to her.
It all depends on the intellectual sympathies of a woman. Her maturity can be depended upon. Rightness can be trusted. Oh, young women agree. I speak horticulture. My metaphor was drawn from fruit. But where is Cecily?
Perhaps she followed us to the schools.
Mr. Worthing.
Mr. Worthing?
What a pleasant surprise. We didn't look for you until Monday afternoon.
I have returned sooner than I had expected. Dr. Choswell, you are well.
Dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe doesn't betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother.
More shameful death than extravagance.
Still leading his life for pleasure?
Dead.
Brother Earnest dead?
Quite dead.
And what's the cause of death mentioned?
Oh dear Mr. Worthing, I do offer my sincere condolence. But you have the consolation of knowing that, well, you're always the most forgiving and generous of brothers.
Oh, poor Ernest. He had many faults, but it is a sad, sad blow.
Very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end?
No, he died abroad. Paris, in fact. I received a telegram from the manager of the Grand Hotel last night.
And did they say what the cause of death was?
A severe chill, it seems.
Oh, as a man sow, then let him reap.
Oh, charity, dear Miss Prism, charity. None of us are perfect. I myself am quite susceptible to drafts. And will the interment take place here?
No. No. It seems he expressed a desire to be buried in Paris.
In Paris? That doesn't point to a very stable state of mind at the last. Now, you will no doubt wish me to make some slight allusion to this terrible domestic affliction next Sunday. My sermon on the meaning of the manna and the wilderness can be adapted to suit almost any circumstances, joyful or, as in this case, distressing. I have delivered it at harvest celebrations, christenings, confirmations, weddings, baptisms, funerals, days of humiliation and festivities. I recently delivered it in the cathedral as a charity sermon for the Society for the Prevention of Discontent among the Upper Orders. And the bishop who was present was much taken by some of the analogies I drew.
That reminds me, dear doctor, you had mentioned christenings, I think. You do know how to christen all that. I mean, of course, you are continually christening.
Unfortunately, that is one of the rector's most constant duties in the parish. I've often spoken to the poorer classes on the subject, but they do not seem to understand the drift.
Is there any infant you have in mind, Mr. Worthing? Because your brother, I believe, was unmarried, was he not?
Oh, yes.
People who live lives of time and pleasure usually are.
It is not for any child, dear doctor, and indeed I am very fond of children. The fact is, I would like to be christened myself. This afternoon, if you have nothing better.
But surely, Mr. Worthing, you've been christened already.
Well, I don't remember anything about it.
Have you any great doubts on the subject?
Well, I certainly intend to have, of course. I don't know if the thing would bother you in any way, or Maybe you think I'm a little too old now.
Oh, no, not at all. The sprinkling and indeed the immersion of adults is a perfectly canonical practice.
Immersion?
You will be under no apprehension. I think the sprinkling will be adequate, indeed advisable. Our weather is too changeable. And how would you like this ceremony performed?
Oh, I might trot around 5 if that would suit you.
Perfectly. Actually, I have 2 ceremonies to perform at the same time. A case of twins that occurred recently on one of the outlying cottages on your very own estate. Poor Jenkins, the carter, a most hard-working man.
Oh, I don't see much fun in being christened along with other babies. It would be far too childish. Would 5:30 suit?
Admirably. And now, Mr. Worthing, I will remain no longer in this house of grief. But I would ask you not to be too bowed down by sorrow. Because sometimes these trials which are sent to us, well, they're often blessings in disguise.
This is me a blessing of an extremely obvious kind.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I am glad to see you back. But what horrid clothes you have got on. Oh, do go and change them.
Oh, Cecily!
My child.
Uncle Jack, what is the matter? Oh, do look happy. You look as if you have a toothache. And I have got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother.
Who?
Your brother, Ernest. He arrived about half an hour ago.
What nonsense. I haven't got a brother.
Oh, Uncle Jack, don't say that. However badly he may have behaved in the past, he is still your brother. Don't be so heartless as to disown him. I'll go and get him and you will shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
These are joyful tidings, old boy.
After we've all been resigned to his loss, his sudden reappearance seems to me to be particularly distressing.
My brother in the dining room? I don't know what all this means. I think it's absolutely absurd. Good heavens!
Brother John, I have come up from town to tell you that I am very sorry for all the trouble I have caused you, and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you're not going to refuse your own brother's hand?
Nothing will induce me to shake his hand. I think him coming down here is perfectly disgraceful, and he knows perfectly well why.
Uncle Jack, there's some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor infinite friend, Mr. Bunbury, who he goes to visit so often. And surely there must be much good in someone who leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
He's been talking to you about Bunbury, has he?
Oh, yes, he has told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Bunbury? Well, I won't have him talk to you about Bunbury or anything else for that matter. It's enough to drive anyone perfectly frantic.
Of course, I admit that the faults were all on my side. But I must say that I think that Brother John's coldness towards me is particularly painful. I had expected a rather more enthusiastic welcome, especially since the first time that I've come here.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I'll never forgive you.
You'll never forgive me?
Never.
Well, then this is the last time that I shall ever do it.
It's a pleasure to see so pleasant a reconciliation. I think we should leave the 2 brothers together.
Cecily, you will come with us.
Yes, Miss Prism, my little task of reconciliation is over.
You must not be premature in your judgment.
You've done a wonderful action today, dear child.
I feel very happy.
Young scoundrel! You've got to leave this place as soon as possible. I will not allow any bumbling here.
I have put Mr. Ernest's things in the room next to yours, sir. I suppose that is okay.
What?
Mr. Ernest's luggage. I have unpacked it and put it in the room next to yours.
His luggage?
Yes, sir. 3 portmanteaus, 2 hat boxes, a large dressing case, and a large luncheon box.
I'm afraid I can only stay a week this time.
Earlyman, I want you to order the dog cart. Mr. Earnest had been suddenly called back to town.
Yes.
What a frightful lie you are, Jack. I haven't been called anywhere.
Yes, you have.
Well, I haven't heard anyone call me.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you.
My duty as a gentleman
You are not to talk to Miss Cardew like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. You look perfectly ridiculous. Why on earth don't you go up and check? It is perfectly childish to be deeply in mourning for a man who is actually staying at your house as a guest for a whole week. I call it protest.
You are not staying with me for a whole week as a guest or anything else for that matter. You have got to leave. By the 4:05 train.
Well, I certainly won't leave while you're deeply in mourning. That would be most unfriendly. If I were in mourning, you would stay with me, I suppose. I would think it most unkind if you did.
Will you go if I change my clothes?
Yes, if you don't take too long. I have never seen anyone to take so long to dress, and yet have such little result.
But at any rate, that is always better than being, well, always overdressed as you are.
If I am occasionally a little overdressed, I make up for it by always being immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous. Your conduct an outrage, and your presence here in my garden is utterly absurd. However, you have got to leave by that 4:05 train, and I really hope that you have a very pleasant journey on your way back to town. This, bumbling hasn't been a great success for you, has it?
Oh, but it has been a great success. I love Cecily, and that is everything. Now, I must make arrangements to meet her before I go, so I can organize another Bunbury. He's going to order the dog cart for me.
Oh, is he going to take you for a nice drive?
He's going to send me away.
Then have we got to part?
Yes, I'm afraid so, and it is a very painful parting.
It is always painful parting from people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity, but even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced is almost unbearable.
Why, thank you. The dog cart is at the door, sir.
It can wait, Ferdinand, for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss. Cecily, I hope I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you'll allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
So you really keep a diary? May I see it? May I?
Oh, no. It is simply a very young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I do hope you will order a copy. But pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on. I am quite ready for more. Oh, don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell a cough.
Cecily, ever since I have first gazed on your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
Oh, I don't think you should tell me you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, and hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Well, Cecily, darling, I guess you've on the days of the dog cart does win. Tell her to come around next week at the same hour. Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
I don't care about Uncle Jack. I don't care about anyone in the whole world but you, Cecily. I love you. You will marry me, won't you?
Oh, of course I will, you silly boy. Why, we've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it'll be 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you of course became the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism.
I see.
And a man who is much talked about is always very attractive.
Well, yes.
One feels that there must be something good in him after all. not. I promised you always to wear.
Did I get this for you, did I? Isn't it pretty?
Wonderfully good taste, Ernest.
Oh, yes.
It's the excuse I've always given you for leading such a bad life.
Indeed.
And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? My own sweet dear Cecily. I have never written you any letters.
Oh, you need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote 3 times a week and sometimes oftener.
May I read them?
Oh no, they would make you far too conceited. The 3 you wrote me after I had broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement broken off?
Yes, on the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry if you like. Today I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I feel it better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
But why did you break off our engagement? What had I done? I had done nothing, Cecily. I am deeply hurt to hear that you've broken off our engagement, especially when the weather was so charming.
But it would hardly have been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
Oh, Cecily, you're the perfect angel.
My dear romantic boy, I do hope your hair curls naturally, does it?
Yes, with a little help from others.
Oh, I am so glad.
Cecily, you'll never break off our engagement again, will you?
Oh, I don't think I could now that I've actually met you. And besides, there's the question of your name.
Yes.
Now, you mustn't laugh at me, darling, but it's always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Earnest. There's something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Earnest.
But my sweet child, I mean, you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
I don't know, any name at all. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
Well, my dear sweet darling Cecily, I really don't see why you should object so much to the name of Algernon. It is a very good name indeed. In fact, it is a rather aristocratic name. Do you know that half the fellows in bankruptcy court are called Algernon? But seriously, Cecily, if I was called Algie, couldn't you love me?
No, I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character, but I feel I could not give you my undivided attention.
I see. Cecily, your rector here is very experienced in all the rites and ceremonials of the church, I presume.
Oh yes, Dr. Chasbin is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I must see him right away about a very important christening. I mean, very important business. And I'll be back in half an hour, okay?
Well, seeing as we've been engaged since the 14th of February and I'm only meeting you today for the first time, I think it is rather hard you leaving me for such a long period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back in no time, darling.
What an impetuous boy! I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal into my diary.
Miss Fairfax has just called to see Mr. Worthing on very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Is Mr. Worthing in his library?
Mr. Worthing left in the direction of the rectory some time ago.
Oh. Well, pray ask the lady to come here, and you can bring tea.
Yes.
Miss Fairfax, I suppose one of the many good and elderly women who are associated with Uncle Jack in some of his philanthropic work in London. I don't like women who are associated with philanthropic work. I think it's so forward of them.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray let me introduce myself. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Oh, Cecily Cardew. What a very sweet name. Something tells me we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say, and my first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we have known each other for such a comparatively short time. Won't you sit down?
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolen, won't you?
If you wish.
Then that is it all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this is a favourable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father Unfortunately, once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Cecily, Mamma's views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be incredibly short-sighted. It was part of his system. Do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolyn. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You're here on a short visit, I suppose?
Oh, no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative of advanced years resides here also?
Oh, no, I don't have a mother, nor any relatives.
Indeed.
My guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh, he never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How very secretive. He grows more interesting hourly. I'm not sure, however, that this news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I'm quite fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since I met you. But I'm bound to state that now that I know that you're Mr. Worthing's ward, I can't help wishing that you were, well, a little bit older than you seem to be and not so very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly...
Oh, please do, Gwendolyn. I always think that whenever anyone has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, I wish that you were fully 42 and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honour. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. But even men of the most noble moral character are extremely susceptible to the influence of the physical charms of others.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn, but did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest never mentioned that he had a brother.
Oh, I'm afraid the two have not been on good terms for quite some time.
That accounts for it. In fact, I've rarely heard any man discuss the subject of his brother. It seems almost distasteful. Oh, you've lifted a load from my mind, Cecily. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it? Of course, you're quite certain that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing that is your guardian.
Quite certain.
Oh.
In fact, I am going to be his.
I beg your pardon.
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
I think there must be some slight error, Miss Cardew, for I am engaged to Mr. Ernest Worthing. The announcement will appear on Saturday the latest in the Morning Post.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
Well, it is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you would care to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. I am sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but it seems that I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, Miss Fairfax, if I was to cause you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he has clearly changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, then I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got himself into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest to me, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
Well, I'm glad to say that I've never seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres have been widely different.
Shall I lay the tea as usual?
Yes, as usual.
Are there any interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh yes, a great many, Miss Fairfax. From the top of one of the hills quite close, glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Oh, yes. Flowers are as common here as people are in London.
I don't know how anybody manages to exist in the country. If anyone, who is anyone, does. The country always bores me to death.
Oh, I believe that's what the newspapers are calling agricultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy are suffering very much from it at present. It's almost an epidemic amongst them, I am told. Would you care for some tea?
Oh, thank you. Detestable girl, but I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Oh. Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter. Cake is rarely seen in the best houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar, and I most distinctly asked for bread and butter. You've given me cake. I know for the extraordinary sweetness of my nature and the gentleness of my disposition. But I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor innocent trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
Oh, from the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt you were false and deceitful. I'm never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
But it seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I'm trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have other calls of similar character to make in the neighbourhood.
Oh, Ernest, my own Ernest.
Gwendolyn, darling.
A moment. Are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To dear little Cecily? Why, of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you, you may.
I knew there must have been some mistake. The gentleman whose arm is currently round your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon.
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack!
Here is Ernest.
Cecily, darling.
A moment. Can you tell me, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens, Gwendolyn!
Yes, good heavens, Gwendolyn. I mean Gwendolyn.
Well, of course not. What should have put such an idea in your pretty little head?
Oh, thank you. You may.
I felt that there was some slight error, Miss Cardew, for the gentleman who's now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief! Oh! Is your name really Algernon?
Well, I'm afraid I cannot deny it.
Oh!
Is your name really John?
Well, I could deny it if I like. I could deny anything if I like, but yes,
Oh.
my name certainly is John. It has been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
My poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet wronged Gwendolyn.
You will call me sister, won't you?
There's just one question that I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
Oh, an admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, where is your brother Ernest? We are both engaged to marry to your brother Ernest. So it's a matter of much importance that we know where your brother is at present.
Gwendolyn, Cecily, it is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life that I have ever been reduced to such a painful position, and well, I am really quite inexperienced in doing anything of the kind. However, I will speak quite frankly that I do not have a brother Ernest. In fact, I have no brother at all. I have never had a brother in all my life, and I don't intend on having one in the future of any kind.
No brother at all?
None.
Not even of any kind.
Never. Not even of any kind.
Well, it would appear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It's not a very pleasant position for a young girl to suddenly find herself in, is it?
Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to come after us there.
No, men are so cowardly, aren't they?
There's a ghastly state of things what you call bumbling, I suppose.
Yes, and a very wonderful Bunbury it is too. Most wonderful Bunbury of my entire life.
No right whatsoever to do any bumbling here.
That is perfectly absurd. One has a right to Bunbury wherever one chooses. Every serious Bunburyist knows that.
Serious Bunburyist, good heavens.
Well, one must be serious about something if one wants to derive any amusement from life. I happen to be serious about Bunbury. What on earth are you serious about? I haven't the remotest idea. About everything, I should fancy. You're such an absolutely trivial nature.
The only small satisfaction I have out of this whole wretched business is that your friend Mr. Bunbury is well quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country quite as often as you used to, my dear Algy. Very good thing too.
Yes. Your brother is a little off-colour, isn't he, dear Jack? You won't be able to trot off down to London quite so frequently as was your wicked custom. And no bad thing either.
As for your conduct towards Miss Carden, I must say that you're taking in a sweet, innocent young girl like that is quite inexcusable, to say nothing of the fact that she's my ward.
Ha! And I can see absolutely no possible defence whatsoever to your deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax, to say nothing of the fact that she's my first cousin.
I just want to be engaged to Gwendolen, that is all. I'm in love with her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of you ever marrying Miss Carden.
And I don't think there is much likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being united in a matrimonial embrace any time soon.
That is no business of yours.
Well, if it was my business, I shouldn't talk about it. It is very rude to talk about one's business. Only people like stockbrokers do that, and usually at dinner parties.
How can you sit there, calmly eating muffins, we're in this horrible trouble I just can't make out? You seem to be perfectly heartless.
Well, I can't eat muffins in an agitated manner. The butter might get in my cuffs.
I see.
One should always eat muffins quite calmly. It is the only way to eat them.
I see. You're eating muffins at all under the circumstances.
When I'm in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. And when I'm in a very great deal of trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse absolutely everything except food and drink. Presently, I'm eating muffins because I'm upset.
Then besides, why you should eat them all that greedy way?
Jack, why don't you have the tea cakes? I don't like tea cakes.
Good heavens, I suppose a man made his own muffins in his own garden.
Well, you just said it was perfectly heartless to eat muffins.
I said it was perfectly heartless of you under the circumstances. That's an entirely different thing.
That may be so, but the muffins are the same.
Algy, I just wish to goodness that you would go.
Surely you can't expect me to leave without having some dinner first. I never go without my dinner. Nobody ever does. Except vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I had made arrangements for Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 5:45 by the name of Earnest.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. For I myself have made arrangements this morning with Dr. Chasuble to be christened myself at 5:30. And I naturally will take the name of her. Gwendolen would wish it. Besides, both of us can't be christened Earnest. That would be absurd. And I have every right to be christened if I like. There will be no evidence that I've ever been christened at all. And I think it extremely probable that I never was, and so does Dr. Chasuble. It's entirely different in your case, as you have been christened already.
Yes, but I haven't been christened for years.
Yes, but the fact is you have been christened, and that is the important thing.
Yes, quite so. So I know that my constitution can take it. If you're not quite sure about your ever having been christened, I must say, I think it is rather dangerous you venturing on it now. It might make you quite ill. You can have hardly forgotten that someone very closely connected to you was nearly carried off this week in Paris by a severe chill.
Yes, but you said a severe chill wasn't right.
Yes, I know it used to be, but I dare say it is now, old boy. You know, science is always making marvelous advances in these sorts of things.
You are talking nonsense. You are always talking nonsense.
Jack, you're at the muffins again. I told you I was particularly fond of muffins. And they're tea. Besides, there's still 3 muffins left.
The fact that they did not want us at once into the house, as anyone else would have done, seems to me to show that they have some sense of shame left.
We have been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us. Couldn't you cough?
But I haven't got a cough.
They're looking at us. What effrontery!
They're approaching. That's very forward of them.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly, it's the only thing to do now.
This undignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, I have something very particular to say to you. Much depends on your reply.
Your common sense is invaluable, Gwendolen. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
Well, in order that I might have an opportunity of meeting with you.
Well, that certainly seems a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
Yes, dear. If you can believe him.
I don't. But it doesn't affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True. In matters of grave importance, it is style, not sincerity, that is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother? Was it so that you could come to town to see me as often as possible?
Well, can you ever doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the greatest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to question. This is no time for German scepticism. That explanation seemed rather satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's. That has the stamp of truth upon it.
I am more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. His voice alone seems to inspire one with absolute credulity.
Then he thinks we should forgive them?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, no.
Oh, true, I'd forgotten. There are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. Which of us should tell them? The task is not a pleasant one.
Couldn't we both speak at the same time?
Oh, an admirable idea. I almost always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time from me?
Certainly.
Your
Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names, is that all? But we are going to be christened this afternoon.
Oh, for me, you were prepared to do this terrible thing.
Oh, I am.
Oh,
For me, you're about to face this fearful ordeal.
I am.
how absurd to talk about the equality of the sexes. Where questions of self-sacrifice are concerned, men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
When questions of physical charm come into it, men have a courage that us women know absolutely nothing about. Darling.
Darling. Lady Bracknell.
Oh, good heavens.
Gwendolen, what does this mean?
I'm engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Come here, sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young and of physical weakness in the old. A prize tour of my daughter's sudden flight by her trusty maid, whose confidence I purchased by means of a small coin, I followed immediately by a luggage train. Her unhappy father is, I'm glad to say, under the impression that she is attending a more than usually lengthy lecture on the influence of a permanent income on thought. I do not propose to undeceive him. Indeed, I've never undeceived him in any matter. So you must see clearly, Mr. Worthing, that any further communication between yourself and my daughter must cease from this moment. On this point, as indeed on all points, I am firm.
I am engaged to be married to Gwendolen, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. And now, as regards Algernon.
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
Algernon, may I ask, is it in this house your invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, resides?
Oh no, Bunbury resides elsewhere. In fact, Bunbury is not here at present. Bunbury is dead.
Dead? When did Mr. Bunbury die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I mean, Bunbury died this afternoon.
What did he die of?
Bunbury? He was quite exploded, actually.
Exploded? Was he the victim of a revolution legislation? If so, he is well punished for his morbidity.
My dear Aunt Augusta, Bunbury was found out, and Bunbury's doctors found out that Bunbury could not live. That is what I mean. So Bunbury died.
Well, he seems to have great confidence in the opinion of his physicians.
Yes.
However, I'm glad that he made some decision at the last and acted under proper medical advice.
Indeed.
And now that we've got rid of this Mr. Bunbury, Mr. Worthing, may I ask, who is the young person whose hand my nephew Algernon is holding, in what seems to me to be a most peculiarly unnecessary manner?
Oh, that lady's Miss Cecily Carr, whom I warned.
I'm engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married, Lady Bracknell.
I do not know if there's something peculiarly exciting in the air in this particular part of Hertfordshire, but the amount of engagements that go on are considerably above the proper average that statistics have laid down for our guidance. I think a preliminary inquiry on my part would not be out of place. Mr. Worthing, is Miss Cardew in any way connected with any of the large railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Up until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any families or persons whose origin was a terminus.
Miss Cecily Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew, of 149 Belgrave Square, Gervais Park, Dorking, Surrey, and the Spurn, Fiveshire, NB.
That is not unsatisfactory. 3 addresses always inspire confidence. But what proof have I of their authenticity?
Well, I have preserved all the court guides of the period. They are open for your inspection, Lady Bracknell.
I've known strange areas in that publication.
Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. Markby, and Markby.
Markby and Markby, a firm of the very highest position in their profession. Indeed, one of them, Mr. Markby's, is occasionally to be seen attending dinner parties. So far, I'm satisfied.
Oh, how extremely kind of you, Lady Bracknell. I have also in my possession, you will be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, and the measles, both the German and the English variety.
Oh, a life crowded with incident, I see. Although perhaps a bit too exciting for one so young. I myself am not in favour of premature experiences. Gwendolyn, the time approaches for our departure. We've not a moment to lose. As a matter of form, Mr. Cardew, I'd better ask if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
Oh, about £130,000 in the funds, that is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell, I'm so pleased to see you.
Moments, Mr. Worthing. £130,000, you say, and in the funds?
Yes.
Why, Miss Cardew's a very attractive young lady now. You, the girls of today, have any really solid qualities that last and improve with time. We live, I regret to say, in an age of surfaces. Come here, dear. What a pretty child. Your dress is sadly plain. And your hair seems almost as nature might have left it. But never mind, a thoroughly professional French maid can produce a really marvellous result in a very brief space of time. I remember recommending one to young Lady Lancing, and after 3 months, her own husband didn't know her.
After 6 months, nobody knew her.
Turn around, dear. No, the side view is what I want. Oh, yes, just as I expected. There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile. The chin a little higher, dear. Style largely depends on how the chin is worn. They're worn very high just at present. Algernon?
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Well, Cecily is the sweetest, dearest, prettiest girl that I've ever seen, and I don't give 2 pence for social possibilities.
Don't speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only people who can't get into it do that.
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
Miss Cecily, you must know that Algernon has nothing but his desk to depend upon, and I do not approve of mercenary marriages. When I married Lord Bracknell, I had not a fortune of any kind to my name, but I never for a moment allowed that to stand in my way. So I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
You may kiss me, Cecily.
Oh, thank you, Lady Bracknell.
And from now on, you may address me as Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
I think the marriage had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
I am not in favour of long engagements, friends, I think it gives one the opportunity of finding out each other's character. Which I think is never advisable.
I beg your pardon to interrupt you, Lady Bracknell, but I'm afraid that this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Miss Cardew's guardian, and she will not marry until she becomes of age, and, well, that consent I absolutely decline to give.
On what grounds, may I ask? Why, Algernon is an extremely, I may almost say, ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more can one desire?
Well, it pains me very much to speak quite frankly to you, Lady Bracknell, about your nephew, but the fact is I don't approve of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon? Impossible. He's an Oxonian.
There can be no possible doubt about the matter. During my temporary absence in London on an important question of romance, he obtained admission to my house under the false pretense of being my brother. Under an assumed name he drank, I've just been informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of my Perrier Jouet Brut 89, a wine that I had been especially reserving for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded in the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward, subsequently stayed for tea and devoured every single muffin. But what makes his conduct all the more heartless, and he was perfectly well aware from the first that I do not have a brother, that I never had a brother, I don't intend on having one, not even of any kind, and I distinctly told him so myself yesterday afternoon.
After careful consideration, Mr. Worthing, I have decided entirely to overlook my nephew's conduct.
I was extremely kind of you, Lady Bracknell. However, my decision is unalterable, and I still decline to give my consent.
Come here, sweet child. How old are you, dear?
Well, I'm really only 18, but I always admit to 20 at evening parties.
You are perfectly right in making some alteration. No woman should ever be quite accurate about her age. It looks so calculating. 18 was admitting to 20 at evening parties. Well, soon you will be free of consent, of the age of consent, and free from the restraints of tutelage. So your guardian's consent is, after all, a matter of no importance.
Pray excuse me for interrupting you again, Lady Bracknell, but I only feel it fair to warn you that, according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not become of age until she is 35.
That is not a grave objection. Well, 35 is a perfectly attractive age. While London society is full of women of the very highest birth, who, through their own free choice, have remained 35 for years. Take Lady Dumbleton as an instance in point. Why, to my knowledge, she has been 35 ever since she arrived at the age of 40, and that was many years ago. I see no reason why our dear Miss Cecily will not even be more attractive at the age you mentioned, and there will be a large accumulation of property.
Angie!
Yes, Cecily.
Could you wait for me until I was 35?
Of course I could. You knew that I could.
I knew it. I felt instinctively that you could.
Yes.
But I couldn't.
Yeah.
I hate waiting.
Yeah.
I am not patient myself, but I do like punctuality in others. And waiting, even to be married, is quite out of the question.
Well, what is to be done then, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
Mr. Worthing, as Miss Cardew clearly states that she cannot wait until she is 35, a remark which I must say seems to me to show a somewhat impatient nature. I beg of you to reconsider your decision.
But my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The moment that you consent to my marriage to Gwendolen, I will naturally allow my nephew, my guardian, to form an alliance with your nephew.
Mr. Worthing, what you propose is out of the question.
But then a passion of celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
That is not what I have in mind for Gwendolen. Algernon, of course, can choose for himself. Come, dear, we've already missed 5, if not 6 trains. To miss any more might expose us to comment on the platform.
Lady Bracknell, everything is quite ready for the christenings.
Christenings? Is that not somewhat premature?
Both of these gentlemen expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
What, at their age? How grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized. Lord Bracknell would not be pleased if he thought this was the way you wasted your time and your money.
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
Am I to understand that there's been no christenings at all this afternoon.
Well, I don't think that, well, as things are, it's of much practical value to either of us, Dr. Chasuble.
Oh, it grieves me to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Rothing. They savour of the heretical views of the Anabaptists. Views that I have completely refuted and fall by unpublished sermons. However, as your attitude today seems to be peculiar and secular, I shall return to the church at once. Indeed, I have just been informed by the pew opener that for the last hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me.
Prism? Did I hear you say Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I'm on my way to join her.
Oh, pray let me detain you for a moment, Dr. Chasuble. Your information might be invaluable to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism a woman of repellent nature, remotely connected with education?
She's the most cultivated lady, the very peach of respectability.
Well, she's obviously the same person. What position does she hold in your household?
I am a celibate, madam.
Mrs. Prism, Lady Bracknell, for the last 3 years, has been Miss Carlow's esteemed governess and valued companion.
Well, in spite of what I hear, I must see her at once. Please let her be sent for.
Well, she approaches. Oh, she's nigh.
Don't expect you to ask me that, Hannah. I've been waiting there for now, and she quarters.
Prism? Come here, Miss Prism. Prism, where is that baby? 36 years ago, you left Lord Bracknell's house at number 104 Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a perambulator carrying the baby of the male sex. You never returned. 3 weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered at midnight in a remote area of Bayswater. It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume manuscript of more than usually revolting sentimentality. But the baby was not there. Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I'm ashamed to say I do not know. Only wish that I did. Plain facts of the case of these. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded in my memory, I proceeded as usual to place the baby in his bassinet. I also had with me a rather old but vocacious handbag in which I intended to place the manuscript of a novel which I had written in my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction for which I can never forgive myself, I placed the manuscript in the bassinet and the baby in the handbag.
Where did you deposit the handbag?
Oh, do not ask me, Mr. Warding.
Oh, Miss Prism, this matter is of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you deposited the handbag that contained that infant.
I left it in the cloak of one of the largest railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria, the Brighton line.
Oh, I must retire to my room. Will you wait here for me?
Oh, if you are not too long, I will wait here for you for all of my life.
What do you think all this means, Lady Bracknell?
I don't hardly suspect, Dr. Chasuble. Strange coincidences are not supposed to occur to families of high society. It's hardly considered the thing.
Uncle Jack seems to be strangely agitated.
Your guardian is very temperamental nature.
It sounds as if he's having an argument. I dislike arguments. They are always vulgar and often convincing.
It has ceased.
Well, I wish you would arrive at some conclusion.
I hope it'll last.
Miss Prism, is this the handbag? Please examine it carefully before you speak. Happiness of more than one person depends on your answer.
It seems to be mine. Yes. Here's an injury caused by the upsetting of a Broad Street omnibus in younger and happier days. And here in the lining is a stain caused by the upsetting of a Tempest beverage, an incident that occurred in Remington. Oh, yes. Here are the handles of my initials. I'd forgotten in a moment
suffered. Cannot repentance wipe out the act of folly? Why should there be one law for men and another for women? Oh, Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Water, there has been a grievous error. There is a lady who will tell you who you really are.
Oh, Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me as to who I am?
But I'm afraid the information I have for you will not altogether please you. But you are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Angie's elder brother. I always knew I had a brother. I always said I had a brother. I have a brother after all. Cecily, how could you ever doubt that I had a brother? Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. You young scoundrel, Algie. You've never behaved to me like a brother in all your life. You're going to have to treat me with a little bit more respect in future.
Well, I'll have to admit, not until today, old boy, although I was a little out of practice.
My own one. But what own are you now that you're somebody else? What is your Christian name?
Oh, good heavens. I have forgotten about that. Your decision on the subject of my name is unchanging, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affections.
What a noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
Well, then, the question had better be settled then. Aunt Augusta, a moment. At the time when Miss Prism had placed me in the handbag, had I been christened already?
Yes, every luxury that money could afford, including christening, had been lavished upon you by your doting parents.
Then I was christened. That is settled then. What was my Christian name? Please, just tell me the worst.
Well, naturally, being the eldest son, you were called after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
Well, I cannot recall at the moment, but I no doubt the General did have one. He was eccentric, I admit, but only in later years.
Angie, can you not recollect our father's Christian name?
Well, I'm afraid, old boy, we were never on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
His name would appear in the army list of the period, I suppose, Aunt Augusta.
Well, the General was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life, but his name would appear in any of the military directories.
Oh, then the army list of the last 40 years are here. But these records should have been bypassed and studied. Oh, generals, generals. Monaghan, Moxham, Mogley. Ghastly names they all have. Markby, Migsby, Moggs, Moncrief. Lieutenant, 1840. Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel. General, 1869. Christian names. Ernest, John. I always told you my name was Ernest, didn't I? I mean, it naturally is Ernest.
Oh, yes, now I remember the General's name was Earnest. I knew there was a reason why I disliked that name.
Ernest, my own Ernest.
Oh, Gwendolyn, it is very painful for a man to suddenly find out that all his life I've been speaking nothing but the truth. Will you ever forgive me?
Oh, I can, for I'm sure you're going to change.
Oh, my own one. Oh, Letitia, my own one. Gwendolyn, at last.
You're showing clear signs of triviality.
Oh, on the contrary, Aunt Augusta. For virtually I've realised that for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.
guys at the back, and I couldn't have done it without the help from everyone else. But as for these guys, they just put their heart and soul into it, and it was so difficult. It was so difficult for them. So I'd like you to give them a round of applause.
The duty has fallen to me to make this presentation to our illustrious director.
Thanks very much, and good night to you. Thanks. Nice to see you. Good
Can't wait. Where's the money, you know, right? I'll slip out here.
night.